Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Gita Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gita Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gita Gaura Hari Bol. हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे, हरि हरि बोल। हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
So let's begin with Hare Krishna. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतापदकमलम् श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So welcome all the devotees to this Friday satsang. So we are meeting almost after a gap of a month, I think, almost a month. So I was not here, but I'm sure you all continued your reading and your bhakti. So very grateful to all of you to be here. And I'm very grateful to Vishakha Mataji and Vikas Guru for hosting today. So thank you very much. So we'll continue to study from Srimad Bhagavatam. So as you know, we are studying Srimad Bhagavatam verse by verse. And we have read till chapter number 12. And in chapter 13 also, we have completed till verse number 21. So we'll continue study further. So before we begin, I just want to pray that whatever presentation that is being made, I am only using the commentary of our acharyas, listening to classes of Srila Prabhupada and his devotees, and presenting in front of you. So there is no my personal contribution. Any good thing that you hear or see from this, it is all because of our acharya. And if there's any mistake, it will be solely mine. So please forgive me. And please bless and pray for me so that I can speak words which are soothing to our heart and increase our bhakti towards the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I would like to pray my gratitude and obeisances to all the Gurus who are listened to. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Ananta Kodi Vaishnavindra ki jai. So, yeah. So far we have seen that Vidurji has been telling Dhritarashtra that you are now old, right? And you are living in a home of a person whom you try to kill. Imagine, one is living in a family whom he tried to kill, completely destroy that family. So how shameless that person could be, isn't it? Just to enjoy some good comforts, he is living like that. He is not able to leave that attachment of nice home, nice food, nice clothes. He is not able to give up this. Now, Prabhupada writes in a purport, this is a condition of the today's man. Situation is very precarious. We feel that, we don't see this situation, but it is as bad. So, therefore, it is very important to develop detachment in this world at very, very young age itself. Attachment is there, and then at the end of the life, we cannot give it up. It's very difficult, dear devotees. Very, very difficult. So, here in the verse number 21, Prabhupada has written that if you see, let's go to verse 21 so we can read it together, because it's a very powerful message that has come here. So in this verse, so can somebody read to Priyansh is not going to be here from next week, or he will be here probably, but he's going on a college. I think Abba are probably going as well, right? Yeah, so both the youth will be going to the college. So today's class will present to them and pray for them that they continue to stay in a very nice and good association where they can inspire others to take up to bhakti, and they also continue and become very strong in their sadhana as they continue their journey into college. So we'll pray for both of them to become very successful spiritually and materially and education wise as well. So we'll pray for both of them. Yeah. So let us read. So Priyansh, can you please read this translation, beta?
Your father, brother, well-wishers, and sons are all dead and passed away. You yourself have expended the major portion of your life. Your body is now overtaken by invalidity, and you're living in the home of another. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So these are what that we stopped last time. So he's telling that all your forefathers, everybody have left this world. Don't you see this? You are seeing all your father, grandfather, everybody has left this world. Nobody is in front of you. And you yourself has become invalid. Invalid means body cannot function. We cannot do any productive work using this body. So it's become very invalid. Like, we have retirement age in a company. Why? Because now you become invalid because you cannot work efficiently. That's why it's okay, you retire and let some young person come and do the work, right? So that's what is happening. But Dhritarashtra is blind materially as well as spiritually. Materially, he was blind by birth, but even spiritually, he couldn't see this. That he has become invalid. Now he has to take the varnashram. He should be a vanprastha by now, but he's still not. So we can see how much this attachment to this material world, attachment to this body is keeping us still to enjoy the luxuries of this world. That's why you see a lot of people in this world, they become very depressed when certain feature in their life is taken away. Like they have a nice car, and then if the car becomes, they have to go on a lower scale car, downgraded version, then they feel discomfort. If they are living in a home and they suddenly have to live in an apartment, people feel very discomfort. They cannot accept this because we have got used to live to these luxuries. I think that day also I was telling, right, telling a story of Uganda where Idi Amin, when all in Uganda, a lot of Gujaratis live and they primarily do a lot of business. So when they had business, they have a lot of flourished life. Like they have big bungalows, they will have 10, 12 servants in their home, and they were very rich. But overnight, the political coup happened, like what happened recently in our neighboring country in India. It happened, and everybody will given just 72 hours to pack their bag and go and leave everything here. Means your business is left, your house is left, nothing you can take.
You can't take even a gold bar or anything.
Nothing. You cannot take anything. So some people went to London, UK, some people came back here like that. But they had nothing. And when some of them were asked that, how do you feel? Because when they go to London or UK, I mean, there is no specific job because they are businessmen. Now what to do? Suddenly they cannot have a business startup like that, right? So they were doing all the very menial work like cleaning car, cleaning homes, and all those things. Hare Krishna, please come, please come. So it was like that. So, but none of them committed suicide because they all were happy. What they were saying is that even when they were in luxuries, they say it is a mercy of the God. And when they came down living in menial condition, they said this is also mercy. At least we have survived. That was their gratitude. So when we have that kind of gratitude, we can survive any kind of calamity in this world. But Dhritarashtra is not like that. See how much he is attached. So that's what we are going to see. So now last time I think we talked about visible symptoms of the old age, right? So let us read this verse and then understand. And these are all like, symptoms that we see, and everybody would have seen this already in their family anyways. Andhapureva vadiro
Andhapureva vadiro
Mandapragnascha Sampratam
Mandaprasnascha sampratam
Vishirnadanto Mandagni
Vishirnadanto mandragni
Saraga Kapham Uttahan.
saragam.
Yes. Ritesh, can you please read? Rishit, translation, brother.
You've been blind from your very birth, and recently you've become hard of hearing. Your memory is shortened, and your intelligence is disturbed. Your teeth are loose, your liver is defective, and you are coughing up mucus.
Yeah, so these are all the symptoms of old age. All the symptoms of old age. right? This is how it is. He was blind from the beginning, but then he cannot hear. As the age happens, our hearing capacity comes down. And the worst part is that they don't accept that I cannot hear. When you tell old people, they say you cannot hear, they will say no. They will say no, I can hear. I have seen examples in my home itself, so I know it. It is very hard for them to accept that I cannot hear. Many times, Adigar Prabhu used to tell, because he was earlier a geriatrician, where he will treat the people who are seniors. Like, we have pediatrician for the children, geriatrician is for the senior, 60 plus, that's called geriatrician. So he was like that. And when he will go and treat people, when people come in dementia, like they have memory loss, first the check is whether he can hear or not, he or she. Because if he cannot hear, we cannot use our brain to gather information. That's why we lose memory, right? So that's what happens. And when they stop hearing what they say, they can ask one thought, what is that? Sorry, I can say that again. But then they feel ashamed. They say, how many times I can keep asking because I cannot hear. They don't want to exhibit that I cannot hear. Because that's like, shortcoming is like my defect. I don't want to expose my defect. People become vulnerable and they don't want to tell that. Sometimes if you give them a hearing aid, they refuse. No, I don't want people to see. That's why they call nowadays, if you see advertisement, hearing aid that nobody can see. There are hearing aids. And last year when I was in India, I went to hospital for some other purpose. And I saw there are hearing aids which are completely concealed. Means they will operate and put it inside that nobody can see. So it goes to that level that people don't want to expose that I cannot hear, I cannot see. This is how it is. The world is like that. People have defects, but they don't want to express it and accept it. This is a problem. These are the problems and we all will go through that. Most of us sitting here are already in this line, So all these problems are going to come. Like, what are the problems? We cannot hear, eyes difficulty, we are coughing, the teeth have gone, memory loss, digestion, all these things. They say, I don't want to eat. Why? Because the food that I have eaten is not digested. Where they can eat? There's nowhere they can eat. All these are the problems of old age. Old age is not a great thing to be in, especially for material people. Materialistic people who are used to enjoy their life, they cannot accept that now I cannot enjoy. That's why there are so many medicines which comes to make them younger and look good and so many things. Because they refuse to accept that I have grown old. Sometimes you call some elder lady an auntie or uncle, they say, tell me, I'm not, come on. The child is calling you, what's different? But they don't like. That's a problem in a material life. But if you have accepted spiritual, then we know that what's the problems of life. We know what's going to go through, right? So then we will have no problem. Spiritual people have no problem with the old age because that is anyway going to come. It is accepted that it will go to come. So we are not worried. But material people have a lot of fear. Lot of fear. That's a problem. So here Prabhupada writes in the purport, the symptoms of old age which are already developed in Dhritarashtra were all one after another pointed out to him as warning that death was nearing very quickly and still he was foolishly carefree about his future. He's completely carefree. It's coming, but he's not putting any efforts to become enlightened spiritually. He still wants to enjoy this material life. Eating what Yudhishthira Maharaj is feeding, the nice, sumptuous prasadam he wants to eat. He wants to live in the nice, luxurious homes. He's not able to give up those things. And this is the story of most of the people in this world. Most of the people. And Prabhupada writes here, the body is born, it develops, stays, creates another body, dwindles and then vanishes. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadi. These are the things which are there in everybody's life. In fact, when Gurudev, his own Radha Swami Maharaj disciple, Anand Vrindavan Das, is in Mumbai Chowpatty. He was once asking question to Maharaj. He said, Maharaj, I'm in the fag end of my life. And that's a very famous video. You can find out on YouTube. I'm in a fag end of my life. And still my just anarthas have not gone. Because normally you say you chant and anarthas will go away. But and fag end. So Maharaj says, what do you mean by fag end? Well, fag end means like I'm over 50 years now. So, and then he was telling that, I remember Maharaj, you told me something. So I will show something and then I want you to interpret before I tell the story. Okay, so here is the signals and coming. So tell me, what do you, for the children, what do you understand from this signal? Give me some inferences. Inferences from this. What do you, yes.
You told us about it. It was about when it's red, it becomes yellow and then green. When
It's other way, right?
So when you're enjoying life, that's the green state.
Mm-hmm.
And then it slowly becomes like for 2-3 seconds, you're supposed to realize that you have to start becoming spiritual. That's the yellow part.
Mm-hmm.
And then red just comes. And then you can't like go back to yellow or green.
Yes.
And after red, you go to green.
Very good. This is a very good answering. So you're remembering also, we have you all. So here we can see the green signal here, green light is for a longer period. So, first 50 years of our lives like green. Okay, we are enjoying, we are doing all these things. So this green is longer. Then becomes orange, yellow, or amber. And which is there for a short period. It's not very long period, right? Short period. And then even if you try anything, it is going to become red only. So at yellow, you put new teeth, dentures you have a knee surgery, you have cataract, all these things you do, but eventually you're going to go red only. It is never going to become green. So this is a story for all of us. So we have to learn that we are going to go in that route and prepare for that. The Krishna consciousness is teaching us of art of dying, how to die, because the whole life, if we do nice bhajan, then dying is not an issue at all. We don't feel like we are going to die. We are happy. There is one devotee, brahmachari, and he has been brahmachari for what, 30, 35 years now. So he had to undergo some surgery, spine surgery. And spine surgeries are very complex. Something can go wrong because all the nerve systems are here. Something goes wrong, you can become completely like a vegetable on a it's a big problem. So when the devotee asked him, how are you feeling? Well, I'm not worried at all. He had no fear, nothing, no worry at all. He says, all my life, as when I became a brahmachari, since then, I have never missed my 16 rounds in Brahma Muhurta. For 30 years plus, he has been chanting 16 rounds only in Brahma Muhurta. Not a single day he has missed. He is brahmachari. He says, I have never lost a semen in my whole life. Akhand brahmacharya. So we can imagine when you have this powerful sadhana, there is no fear. There is no fear at all. So this is how the devotee feels. But for materialistic, they always have fear. What will happen? What will happen to my car, my home, my family, this, that, everything is being thought about. Because they rely on their own intelligence, own strength. Where devotee rely on Krishna's mercy. And we have faith that Krishna's mercy will come on us. It is always there. Right? So this is how it is. Janma Mrityu Jara Vaya. This is expected. There is nothing new in this. Everybody knows. In fact, when Yaksha asked that what is the biggest surprise in this world to Yudhishthira Maharaj, Kim Ascharya? He said everybody is saying that every other person is dying, but still people believe that I'm going to be immortal. I'm going to be immortal. That's how everybody is living. That is the biggest surprise in this world today. People are trying to do so many things. and try to become younger. But nobody can beat the time. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mrityu sarva haraschaham. When the death comes, everything is taken away. Everything is taken away. We have nothing. I have seen it very recently. 2 family members left in my family. In sleep, they couldn't even tell that I'm leaving and all that. So what is sleep? So in fact, when Prabhupada was in Vrindavan in the 1977 November, Kartik month, when he was about to leave his body, all the devotees were crying because Prabhupada, was very weak, very frail. He was in the bed, but still he was very conscious. We have seen the video where he is still communicating and translating the Bhagavatam, giving purpose. So when devotees were crying, Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Jaydev Maharaj and all that, Srila Prabhupada said, don't think this is not going to happen to you. Because they saw Prabhupada's condition, they were crying because of Prabhupada's condition. Because Prabhupada is in pain. Prabhupada said, don't think this is not going to happen to you. If you live long enough, this will happen to you as well. Like, you have joint pain, you can't walk, all these such symptoms, you walk slowly, hearing becomes problem, can't see clearly. These are very clear symptoms. And this is common. It doesn't discriminate on race, religion, gender, economic condition, nothing. Everyone will have to go through this. Everybody. This is what Vidur is telling Dhritarashtra, that, oh blind man, what are you doing? Look at this. You are having developed so many symptoms. Can't you see that your end is coming soon? So that's what happens. Further, Prabhupada writes that so Prabhupada writes, see, the people who are materially enjoying this, they forget that their permanent identity and become foolishly active for impermanent occupations, forgetting altogether their prime duty. Saints and sages like Vidur approach such foolish men to awaken them to the real situation, but they take such sadhus as saints, as parasites of society, and almost all of them refuse to hear the words of such sadhus and saints, although they welcome show bottle sadhus and so-called saints who can satisfy their senses. So this word show bottle sadhus is very important, significant here. Show bottle sadhus are not very spiritually advanced, but they just wear the external like a sadhu, but they have no sadhana, nothing. There are so many sadhus that you can find. In fact, I was in India at the time, one person I was talking to, he was also trying to active spiritually. And he was telling me there is one sadhu in some place in Gujarat. I said, you should go and meet him. I said, what he does? Well, you have to chant his name as a, and then all the problems are taken care of. I said, you chant his name and how can problems are taken care of? It is never like that. But there are sadhus like that. You chant my name, I will take care. And 23 hours, do whatever you like. 1 hour you think about me, that's it. This is what they are telling. And I'll tell you one true story with Adigar Prabhu told in one of the class, where he was mentioning that in Vrindavan, see, when we have these show model gurus, what happens? They are cheating. And those who want easy life, they also get cheated. So those who want to get cheated, go to such sadhus and they get cheated. So this world is full of cheaters and cheated. It is like that. So when sadhu was in Vrindavan, at that time they saw one tortoise. Tortoise was upside down. So when the tortoise is upside down, they cannot actually come back to their, normal position because they can flap their feet or legs, but they have no support. So they cannot unless somebody helps them. So this tortoise was like that. And then it was a little injured or like and then a lot of red ants were biting that, and then it was flapping its legs, but nothing could be done. And then the devotee showed Maharaj, this is how it is. Maharaj says he was a sadhu in the previous life. He was a guru, but he cheated. And these are all the ants, these are like his disciples who cheated, who got cheated. But because he may have done some sadhana, so he is born in Vrindavan, but he's suffering because of his karma. So we have to be very careful that who we choose as a guru. Guru will not give a palatable words, nice word, which we can say, okay, do this. No, Guru is very strict. We are very strict. Prabhupada is saying 4 regular principles must be followed. You must chant 16 rounds. You must eat prasad. These are the rules. And most of the people, they don't come to Krishna consciousness because they want, we don't hide them. We say, this is what you don't have to give it up on a day one. But if you want to practice, slowly, you go towards it and give it up. Because we know that on day one, nobody can give it up, right? But by hearing these only, half the people goes away. Then you say again further, no tea, coffee, no onion, garlic, another half goes away. How can we eat? This is a problem. And then we live with very small community. So that is a problem with this world. In fact, Prabhupada will tell one story on the cheater and cheated. You know, a very famous story. Some of you may have heard it also. So once, there was a restaurant and there was a sign that eat as much as you want and your grandchildren will pay the bills. So one boy, he was in college, he was very happy. Wow, I'm young, I'm not married, I don't have children. So what to talk of grandchildren? In many years, it's too far. He said, okay, let me go and eat. He ate so much, full till here, ate so many different dishes and all that. Till he enjoyed everything. And he said, okay, I'm done, I'm going. And he was about to get up, and the bouncers came and held him. He says, what happened? No, you will pay this bill. He says, what is this? 10,000 rupees? He said, but you said your grandchildren will pay. Yes, this is your grandfather's bill. This is your grandfather's bill. So the boy wanted to enjoy free meal. That's why he got cheated. So there is no free meal in this world, dear devotees. Nothing is free. Nobody gives anything free. There is always a favor expected when they give something to you. There's a lot of advertisement which happen, like buy this and for 1 year don't pay anything. 6 months, no EMI. All this you have seen.
Buy now, pay later.
Buy now, pay later. And they come very heavily on recovery. Because it's like initial selling. Once selling is happened, then finish. Then now they will come and catch. So we have to be very careful about this. So here Prabhupada writing, Vidura was not a sadhu to satisfy the ill-gotten sentiment of Dhritarashtra. The real sadhu is like a doctor. Doctor will make sure that you go through pain, but your disease is taken away. You have a tumor, we are having pain, but he will do operation and take out that tumor. So you will go through pain. Sadhus are like that. They will make sure that you will have to go through pain, you have to suffer, but the cleaning happens internally, then you become spiritually enlightened. This is a real sadhu. And he's saying that he was correctly pointing out the real situation of life and how one can save oneself from such catastrophes. So we all have to learn from this. See, there are 3 ways one can learn. 3 ways. One, by hearing. We can hear and say, yes, I have to do this. Second, by hearing and seeing, somebody is suffering and say, oh yeah, this is happening, I have to do it. And third is hearing, seeing, and experiencing. Most of the people in this world fall in the third category. They hear, nothing happens. No bell rings. They see, it's not for me. And when that happened to us, oh my God, yeah, it was right. And there are 4th category who does not even remember it. They keep repeating. So most of the people fall in the third and fourth category, where they don't even learn from their own suffering. In fact, this suffering should be a wake-up call for us to take up the spiritual practice. Saying that so much suffering is happening, what's the point? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dukkhale ma shashvatam. This Dukkhale, we are only going to get miseries and sadness in this life. So we have to be careful like that. Let's move on to next verse number 23. Aho mahiyasi jantor.
Aho mahiyasi jantor.
Aho mahiyasi jantor.
Aho mahiyasi jantor.
Jivitasa yatha bhavan.
Jivitasa yatha bhavan.
Bhima pavarjitam pindam.
Bhima pavarjitam pindam.
Adatte gruha palavat.
Adatte druva.
Yes, Kavish can. Where is Kavish? Okay, let's read.
Allah Ta'ala are the hopes of a living being, 20 minutes life. Wherein you are living with a household dog and are eating remnants of food given by Nima.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Akshay. So here, Bhima is being given because Bhima is always fond of having a lot of food, right? So food is given by Bhima, he said. Means Bhima has taken so much food and then whatever is left he is giving and you're still eating that like a dog. And you can see the words used by Vidur are very harsh. Somebody calls you, you are living like a dog in a family, how will you feel? Isn't it? But still Dhritarashtra is not awakening. And to shake him up, Vidur is using these words. When the Guru Maharaj is chastising devotee, he will make sure that he will pull the ear. When the parents are trying to tell children, they'll pull ear saying, what are you doing? Don't do this. Right? It is for their goodness. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, there is an astonishing urge to leave that Dhritarashtra has got. Right? And there is so much, high hopes that I will live forever. And that's the problem. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, a sadhu should never flatter kings or rich men to live comfortably at their cost. Sadhu should not. Like sadhu is given charity doesn't mean he should say, no, you can do like this just because he's getting charity. No. Sadhu must chastise. When Srila Prabhupada was meeting the great grandson of Henry Ford, right? And Henry Ford, his initiated name is now Amrish Das. He lives in Mayapur. So when he met Prabhupada for the first time, Srila Prabhupada asked him, and all the other devotees introduced him as a multi-millionaire because he's like a millionaire at the time, right? So he said, Srila Prabhupada, he's a great grandson of Henry Ford, multi-millionaire. Like that, they were introducing, thinking that he's a very rich man. Now, Prabhupada asked him one question: where is Mr. Henry Ford? And immediately he thought, this is a real sadhu. Because he's asking me the question which I don't know, for which I don't know the answer. And he's telling me the truth, showing me the reality of this life. And then he became his disciple. And whenever Prabhupada will take him to different preaching places, wherever he goes. So when he goes to Africa and all that, he will say, please stand up and say, who is he? He's the great grandson of Henry Ford, the multi-millionaire. He's become devotee. So in his memory of Srila Prabhupada, there are YouTube videos in which Amrish Maharaj says, he was feeling very happy that Prabhupada will make him stand and things like that. So point is that the sadhu, the real sadhu, will always show the mirror. This is what you have. This is what you are. They will tell you. They will not give you good things. So many times people who wants to become a devotee, sometimes they don't like that. But a true sadhu will always show us the bad part. Saying that this is where you are going wrong. You have envy, you have ego. You have to overcome that. If sadhu is only telling good things, then there is a high probability that our improvement will not happen. Like a parent, they are chastising child. Why? Because they want to improve the child. If child says, if they keep telling, oh, no, no, all good, beta, no problem, handwriting, it's okay. Gandhiji also had a bad handwriting. What's your, no problem. No, you tell them, no, you write nicely. You do this. Now, Steve Jobs also or drop out from a college. So, no, it's okay. You don't drop study. No, we tell them to study hard. We give them the positive message and make sure they do it. So, real guru, real sadhu is always showing the mirror so that we come on the right path and do the bhakti diligently. Very important. So Prabhupada writes here that Dhritarashtra is a typical example of an attached old man in household life. He had become a pauper in the true sense because he was living on a charity. He's a pauper, right? Yet he wanted to live comfortably in the house of the Pandavas, of whom Bhima especially is mentioned because personally he killed two prominent sons of Dhritarashtra, namely Duryodhana and Dushasana. So he killed that, but still he wanted to live in his home. So we can imagine how shamelessly Dhritarashtra is living his life. This is such a very, very precarious condition. In fact, in Ramayana, it is mentioned when Dasharath Maharaj one day was getting ready and he saw white hair on his temple. So this area is called temple. And when gray hair comes, these are the place where you get the first gray hair. So on the temple, he saw a gray hair and immediately decided that I have to make Ram the king. That he should be made king. I have to retire now immediately. This is what a wise person does. Immediately make them. So that is how it is. But yes, many times it is not like that. Because all this material enjoyment that we do here, they all are going to go away. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. Mrityu, death will take away everything. But what stays here? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, right? Neha vikrama nastosi. Neha vikrama. Whatever, what is that? Pratyavayo na vidyate. Swalpa asya dharmasya sahayato mahat bhayat. So he says that if you do a little bit of spiritual activity, that will come with you. Little spiritual, whatever you do. But anything material will not come. Will not come. So this is the advantage of doing some spiritual bhakti. If you do it, it will come with us. But material thing, money, fame, education, health, wealth, gone. The moment we have left the body, everything is gone. All the family members are going to enjoy on that. Nothing is going to stay there. Nothing. At the time of death, before the death, you do not want to give something to someone. But once you are dead, you have no control. They will come and take it away. That's the situation. But if you have done some bhajan, that will stay with us. So that's why it is important that we should do bhajan as much as we can. And as Prahlad Maharaj says, when we should do Kaumaryam, at the age of 5 years, we should start doing bhajan. We see so all these young children, I feel very happy when they are listening to class, sitting in the class for such a long time, opening Bhagavatam and reading from there. It's not easy. It's not easy. So they have a special mercy of Srila Prabhupada that they are sitting here and listening and reading this. Then Prabhupada further writes that a sadhu like Vidur is meant to awaken such blind persons and thus help them go back to Godhead, where life is eternal. Once going there, no one wants to come back to this material world of miseries. We can just imagine how responsible task is entrusted to a sadhu like Mahatma Vidur. Vidur is nothing but Mahajan. He's a Yamaraj. He is Mahajan. And he is telling all these things. So what is the purpose? They are trying to send us back to an eternal life where there are no miseries. Vaikuntha means, and above is what Vaikuntha means. There is Kuntha means Miseries. Vaikuntha means there are no miseries. There are no miseries in that world. Hare Krishna, please come. Very nice to see you. So it's like that. So therefore, this spiritual activity must be done at a very young age and continue till end of our life. And we never know how the mercy will come, dear devotees. It's very the mercy, as long as we are connected in the parampara, if we are doing our sadhana very nicely, it is astonishing that how the mercy will come from Krishna. It is very astonishing. And I'll tell you a true story. I'm not trying to boast something, but I'm just telling you what happened. Like when my mother left this in July, I was in Atlanta, I was in New York, and I had to come here, pick up my passport. I got delayed to reach home. Like I reached after almost 3 days. But by the time they have finished the last rites, and on the day, because I told some devotees that this has happened and I have to go back, I was praying and I requested them to pray. And then news reached in ISKCON, and ISKCON Ahmedabad devotees came and did kirtan when my mother was leaving. So when she was in home, for 3.5 hours, three and a half hours, they were doing kirtan till she was reached to the crematory. So when they came and they did kirtan for 3.5 hours. It was just arranged somehow. And then after that, the head pujari of the ISKCON Ahmedabad, they connected and they did Bhagavad Saptah for 7 days in our home. So 7 days they were speaking Srimad Bhagavatam for 3 hours every day with Kirtan and Katha. And they were every day, when she left, they brought the Maha garland of Radha Govind Dev Ji from the temple. They brought the Tulsi, they brought the Charanamrit, Gangajal, everything came from the temple. And after 7 days of Bhagavad Katha, they did a Narsimha Yajna. Like we do it in Narsingh Chaturthi, we did the same Yajna was performed in our home by the same Pujari. And then when I was suggested I should do the Asti Visarjan in Yamuna. So we went to Yamuna, and then ISKCON Vrindavan, ISKCON Vrindavan's Pujari came to do the Asti Visarjan. And they brought the Mahagalan of Radha Shyam Sundar and all that. So how this mercy has come? My mother has started chanting for the last couple of years when just before she came here in 2021, I think. And she was chanting. She looked at all the devotees here and she got very inspiration. She got a lot of inspiration that, oh, this all are doing. And she started chanting. And then every day I used to read with them Srimad Bhagavatam. Every day I will read with them. And they will read with me. And my mother had a lot of, interest in reading books. So I sent her all the Srila Prabhupada books in Gujarati. And she read all of them in last 1 year. And when she was wearing Kanchimala, when she came here, she said, I will only take prasad. She told me before she left from here. She said, now when I go home, I will eat only prasad. Because she saw all these things, which is happening, the way we offer prasad, we go to temple, see different programs, devotees home, everything she saw. So she got a lot of inspiration. And then when we gave her the Kantimala, because when she came here, she said, I also want to wear Kantimala. And she wore Kantimala. And she did not take it out. And it is mentioned in Vishnu Puran that one who wears Kanchimala in his life and leaves the body wearing it and is cremated with Kanchimala goes back to Vaikuntha. It is there in the Vishnu Puran. So this is the importance of these various things, Kanchimala, Tilak and all that. These are so important. Like, examples are given like Prabhupada gives an example. This Kanchimala that we wear is like a belt. Like you see a dog, which are pet, they have a belt in there, right? And there is a name written, who's the owner or something is there on that, right? So in India, a lot of times the municipality come and they want to take away the dog because there are a lot of stray dogs. So they take away all the dog who don't have belt, but they will not touch the dog which has got belt because they know there is an owner for that. So these like we are the dog of Krishna. So nobody will touch. Yamraj will not come and touch if you are wearing Kanchimala. Yamduta will not come to us. It's a fact. It is there in the scripture. I'll tell you a story. Aindra Prabhu, everybody knows, right? Aindra Prabhu, who was a white body and he was doing 24-hour kirtan in Krishna Balram temple in Vrindavan. When he read this, when he came to know that if somebody wears Kanchimala and dies wearing it and is cremated, means he was put into fire wearing that, we go to Vaikuntha. He sent Kanchimala for his father. You see, he came from US to India and never went back. So he had no idea where his father is, what condition he is. But he did some research, tried to reach out and talk to some devotees, and somehow we found out that he lives somewhere in Virginia. So because he wears multiple Kanchimalas, right? So he sent that one of his Kanchimala, removed it and sent it to one devotee and said, "Can you please go and give it to my father and tell him, convince him to wear it." And he told his brother also to please convince him to wear it. His father was very sick at that time. He made him wear. He wore it. And after some time he left and he was cremated, not buried. And before that, what happened is that when he knew this, in one of his dreams, he had a dream. In dream, the message came that your father is a fallen disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was a disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, a fallen disciple. But because he wanted to enjoy the Western world, he took birth there. But he was a disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So he was told that you must liberate him. Yes, you are born in his family to liberate him. So you must take care. So when he read these words, when he came to know this fact, he immediately sent that thing, no, I have to liberate my father. So this is a true story. You can read it on the internet. It's available. So point is I'm telling is, dear devotees, these are paraphernalia are so important. Why to wear Kanchimala, why to put tilak and all that? They have significance. Such a high importance. Right? So yeah, so we should all try to practice this Krishna consciousness very sincerely, because we don't know when our time will come, and only thing that will come with us is our bhakti. That is the only thing that will come with us. Nothing else. Nothing else will come. No relatives, no family member. Nothing will come. So the more sincerely we practice bhakti, better for all of us. Of course, we have to do our day-to-day activity, which is important. But apart from that, we have to become very sincere in doing our bhakti. Because I think there was, yeah, we read this shloka. You remember this? Dhanani bhumo pashavascha goshthe Varya grihidvari jana smashane Dehaschitayam paraloka marge Karmo nugo gacchati jiva ekah. Yes, who can read? Mahi, can you read this? Hare Krishna. Thank you, Beta. So we can see only this follows. In fact, when we were doing the last ride from your mother, the Pandit was speaking this verse. He was saying this is how it is. Because everything, Dhanani Bhumo, whatever that you had is going to live here. Nothing is going to come. So, no, this is a Sanskrit shloka. I don't know from which it is, but it is, yeah. So this is what it is, dear devotees. So we have to become very, very active and become like that. In fact, the point which is mentioned here, right, that sadhus should act in such a way that they are able to deliver the disciple. Sadhu should not accept disciple if they cannot deliver a disciple. Rishabdev tells his sons in 5th canto of Bhagavatam, this sloka comes, which says, this is what? Guru na sasya swajano na sasya
Guru Sasya Swajano Sasya
pita na sasya janani na sasya
Sasya Janani Sasya
devam na tasya na patichascha sasya
Devam Natasya Vidasya
namo jayeda samupeta mrutyum. Yes. So, can somebody, Prince, can you please read?
One who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable
Then we go. Hare Krishna. So this is how it is. If we cannot deliver a dependent, we cannot bring our dependence on the path of bhakti, then we cannot become spiritual guru, father, mother, like that. Because that position is something where the children, the disciple will look up to. Right? So when we become sincere, our children will automatically become sincere. There is no doubt about it. We don't have to even tell them. We don't have to tell them. So this is all our responsibility, the devotees, to bring them into this path. Let's move on to the next verse. So Vidura is highlighting by giving very, very harsh words. So now he's talking about the degraded life that Dhritarashtra is living. Verse 24. Agnirsrasto dattascha garodarascha dushitaha vritam kshetram dhanam yesham dattera shubhi kriya kiyat. Ava, can you please read, beta?
There is no need to live a degraded life and subsist on the charity of those who try to kill the person and poison. You also insulted their married wife and usurped their kingdom and wealth.
So he's reminding that you are living with people whom you try to kill by poisoning the being when he was young. They put into, Vanavrat in the house of lack where they will be burnt down. They also disrobed Draupadi. They took over the kingdom. So many atrocities they put on the Pandavas, and he's living the same home. Unbelievable. So he's saying you are living a degraded life. Can you imagine? So he's saying there is no need to live in such place. So Prabhupada writes that there is no need to live in such place where you have tried to kill them. So this is a very, very horrible life that you are living. So Prabhupada writes in a purport, the system of Varnashram religion sets aside a part of one's life completely for the purpose of self-realization and attainment of salvation in the human form of life. This is a routine division of life, but person like Dhritarashtra, even at their very ripened age, want to stay home, even in a degraded condition of accepting charity from enemies. Vidur wanted to point this out and impressed upon him that it was better to die like his sons, then accept such humiliating charity. So Varnashram is designed in such a way that after 50 years, generally 50 years, but in this age it might be like 60 years when you retire. After that, you become Vanaprastha. Means there is no attachment to the family. You can stay with the family, but no attachment as such. The children take over, they do their business or their job, whatever that, and we focus more on doing bhajan. But in Krishna consciousness, we say you start from the very young age only. Detach from the family. Means, of course, we have to take care. We are not saying detach doesn't mean we don't take care of the family. That is not the purpose. Please remember this. Many times people feel detachment, oh, okay, they will do on their own. No, no, no. We are responsible. We take care of them. It's not like, the American family where the child is 18 years, they are on their own. And then father, mother, they don't even intervene in their life. I remember when I was talking to my earlier manager, he lives in UK, and I was just casually talking with him on some day. So he said, when our children become 18, we kick them out. I mean, he word to use this word, we kick them out of our home when they turn 18. Can you imagine? The children whom you who you who took care of for 18 years, you suddenly want to kick them out. This is the word they're using. And then they complain that now we are living in a senior high rise and there's nobody is to take care and all that. So therefore, the family is broken in this country, in the western side, unfortunately. But for us, we should think that how we can take advantage of this various ashram and live in those ashram accordingly. That will benefit us a lot. Prabhupada writes a very important statement here, right? Said 5,000 years ago, there was one Dhritarashtra, but at the present moment, there are Dhritarashtra in every home. Every home Dhritarashtra exists. Nobody wants to leave the enjoyment. Nobody. And they are not even doing any spiritual activity. I know in some of our family members who are old, they keep watching news all day. Cricket, news, politics, and news channel, what happens? Same news gets repeated every 30 minutes, but they still keep watching. Whole day they are watching this TV and all that, and then where is food? Where is it? Just keep asking this. And obviously the children will get frustrated. What is this? Sitting here, nothing, and they keep the volume high because they cannot hear. That's another problem. These are the problems. It's a fact of life, dear devotees. We see this every time. And if they are not spiritually inclined, then it creates only a problem in the home. So we have to make sure that we at least having come to know these things, we should definitely not live life like this. We should be living very peaceful life after we retire, spending more and more time into bhajan, listening, reading, chanting. These are the activities that we should be doing. Because that is the only thing which is going to come with us. Only thing. Nothing else will come. In fact, by reading the Prabhupada's purports are like Prabhupada's realization. If you see this, it is written in Hindi, it's called Bhavat. Bhavat means what? Comes from the heart. Not Shabdarth. Means not translation. That is there. But Bhavat, which comes from a self-realization. That is what Prabhupada is writing. That is why these purports are so important. I remember when we read, Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, and a book reading, we read only translation just because we wanted to say that let's get an overview. But now I realize that we should have read the purport as well. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we are reading purport. So purports are giving very good details, extra detail comes in, very helpful. So therefore, when we read, we should read with purport. With purport. Every day we should spend some time in reading this. In fact, there is a devotee in Vrindavan. He says that he has read Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, many other acharyas, books and all that, dozens time, everything dozen time. because he keeps reading. How? Every day he spends 1 hour only in reading. 1 hour. Dedicated every day. He says, I will make sure I cut short by something else, but I will read 1 hour every day. So if we spend time 1 hour every day, then how much we'll be able to read? We, I'm glad we started, this reading session. It happened like when basically what happened because it was a COVID and we couldn't meet. So we did the Kartik month celebration on virtual. So every day it's 7 o'clock devotee used to come. And then after it got over, then devotee told, I think Vikas Prabhu only told me that Prabhuji, we are meeting for 30 days. Let's continue, do something. I said, okay, then what you do? Then I talked to Adiyar Prabhuji and he said, we can read books. Then we started reading books. And since then, we can see we have read so much. So point is that if you have consistency, if you do things regularly, then there is a huge benefit. How much will accumulate, we never know. So much benefit will come. And what happens, this is like fixed time in our mind. 7 o'clock. Even if I send sometime cancellation, I know Bilas Prabhu. You join. I said, Prabhu, you know class today. I send cancellation. But I'm not there. But he's programmed. 7 o'clock, he'll just dial in. Now, bringing discipline in our life is very difficult. Like somebody tells, Prabhuji, you read Bhagavad Gita every day. Oh, okay, no problem. Now you tell them, Prabhuji, you read Bhagavad Gita every day at 7 o'clock. Now that is difficult. Every day 7 o'clock, we have something or other reason not to do that. The mind will play tricks for us to give 100 excuses not to do that activity and say something else is more prioritized, more important. So do that. So mind is our biggest enemy. I have personally experienced that. And so difficult to control that. Only through intelligence we can control. Only through intelligence. And intelligence can only come and work in our favor if we read scriptures. Because that's where the intelligence will come from. If you're trying to get intelligence from the material world, it will not help. So that's what it is. Let's go quickly to one verse and then what time it is. 8:30? Okay. Let's do one verse and then we'll pause here. So in verse 25, Vidur is telling another quality of Dhritarashtra, saying you are a kripan, you are a miser. Right? So let's see what he's saying. Tasyapi tava dehoyam
तस्यापि तव देहोऽयम्
Krishnasya jijivishoho
कृष्णस्य दिदिदिशोः
paretya anichato jirno
परेच्य अनिच्छितो जीर्णो
jaraya vasati iva.
जरयावाससि इव.
Okay, Mataji, can you read?
Despite your unwillingness to die and your desire to live even at the cost of honor and prestige, your misery body will certainly dwindle and deteriorate like an old garment.
Hare Krishna. So, here Vidur is further chastising that even if you are unwilling to die, it is going to come. It is expected to come. Like, we change old garments, new body will come, old body will dwindle and go away, perish. It is a fact of life. And it is already approaching. These symptoms are like that. When my mother was, in last few days, she stopped eating, saying, "Nah, I don't feel like eating." When I was listening to one class, actually the body gets a message that it's time to give. And my mother, I came to know very late, but my mother told all my family members who were there 1 month before that my time has come. I'm going to go soon. But nobody told me because I'm so far. I'll get worried and all that. They never told me. But my mother told them. My sister was telling me. So body comes to know that now the end has come, and they will stop doing other activities. They will focus more on reducing, eating, sleep. Everything goes down slowly, and then finally they depart. It happens as we go in the old age. So it's a fact of life, dear devotees, that this is going to come and it's going to happen to every one of us. Everyone. It's not like I'm scaring you, but it's a fact of life. And we have to see this. The sooner we see and sooner we become focused in our spiritual practice, is good for us. Because that is the only thing which will help us advance and get a better destination. Right? So here, Prabhupada writes in a purport a wonderful statement. Here. See, this is a very important point. I want to ask a question here. Prabhupada writes in the purport. He says there are two classes of men. One is called Kripana and the other is called Brahmana. The Kripana or a miserly man has no estimation of his material body, but the Brahman has a true estimation of himself and the material body, the Kripana. So, can anybody tell me what is the true estimation of the material body? What is the true estimation of material body? Maharaj speaks this in one of the Canto. We'll bring that, but I want to understand what is our understanding. We have material body. So, what is his body and what are the benefit of this body? That's what being asked. Because the question is estimation. Estimation is what is the purpose of this and what's the benefit of this? What will happen to this body? Huh? Yes. To make it useful. See, body can be used in both ways, right? Either you enjoy materially and then lose it, or you do spiritual activity and benefit. Yes, you were saying something, right?
I was about to say that you more protection.
You?
More protection to the body.
Yes. Only in human birth we can do bhajan. When you go and walk on the street, you'll see some people walking the dogs. Can dog read Bhagavatam? Can dog chant? Animals cannot do. They're living in this wonderful country. They are having wonderful home because dog has got special food, special bed. They have got home. Everything is there. Maybe sometimes better than our children because they've spent so much money. They got some, they've got hospital. They've got what do you call? Saloon, and so many things. But can they do bhajan? No. Very true. So this body is beneficial for us to do bhajan. And only in humans that we can do this. That's why Prahlad Maharaj says, very wonderful shlok. Let's recite together. It's very beautiful word this comes up. He says, Kaumaram acharet pragyo Dharman Bhagavatan iha Durlabham manusham janma Tadapya dhruvam ardhadam. Okay. So, Rishikesh, can you please read this translation?
Yes. Prahlad Maharaj says, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood, to practice the activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved, and although temporary, like other bodies, it is meaningful because in human life, one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection.
Hare Krishna. Such an important instruction, dear devotee. Kaumaram, at the young age, very tender age, like Mahi. I mean, she's finding difficult to read some words which are complex, but she's putting in effort. And she's ready. Rishi is asking question. He's remembering from what we discussed few months ago. is still able to recollect. Avyukta can recite Bhagavad Gita verses. So all the children are doing bhakti at this time, which is so wonderful. Show me a child who's able to sit here for 1.5, 2 hours and listen to this philosophy. Well, not great presentations are there, very simple words and all that. Still they are listening. It is definitely that they have a mercy. The parent have put some sincere efforts on them. That's why they all are coming here, which is very, very, very heart-touching. So there are very significant words which are used here. So this body is what? This body is temporary. It will go, right? Because there are two words which are used. Ardhruvam. Ardhruvam means what? Impermanent or temporary body. And Arthadam, it is full of meaning. We can make a lot of meaning out of this body. Means you can do bhajan, Krishna conscious activities, and go back to God. And Prahlad says, even a little bit of bhakti that we have done, great benefit will come. Great benefit will come. This is the advantage. If you read the scripture, scripture is full of so many revelations. So many revelations are there. There are so many stories which are there in Vishnu Puran and all the different Puranas. In fact, there is one story Amrita Prabhu used to share. You know that once eagle was chasing a cat or something. So the cat circumambulated, a particular very abandoned place was there. So cat was running for her life, and it took circle round or round. It happened to Vishnu temple. And because it took round, circumambulated this for about 3-4 times, when he got caught and all that, he got delivered. Because that's the benefit of circumambulating Vishnu temple. We have heard a story, right, where a mouse was eating the wick of a ghee lamb, and he got mustache burned. So he was like struggling for life, and it was a deity, Vishnu's deity there, and he died, and he went back. Why? Because he danced in front of the deities. That's the benefit of dancing in front of the deities. So we can see this small acts of spiritual actions are so beneficial. What to speak of we becoming sincere in our actions, like chanting every day. But again, this has to be done in a gradual space. We should not become like, okay, we have heard so much, get inspiration. Now, tomorrow morning, 16 round. No. Whatever round you are doing, gradually we should increase. Gradually. Go slow. Because we require sustenance. We have to do this for whole of our life. Right? So if you're chanting 1 round, 4 round, go to next level. And in fact, there is a devotee in Vrindavan whom I met this time when I went to India. She is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. She increases her round every year by 16 numbers. 16 round every year she adds to her sadhana. So there are devotees which we get the inspiration from. And we should take inspiration. It is so important. So all this being told to inspire all of us. I also get inspiration from when I met that Mataji. Because she went, and Prabhupada told her to go and distribute books. She came to India, she never came back to US. And she came in 73. So at that time, you can imagine the living condition in Vrindavan was very austere. Even now, when we go from America to Vrindavan, we find out, hey, there's no hot water coming, sometimes this is not working, all these problems are, we feel, how can we live here? But she is leaving, giving up everything. Ayendra Prabhu, he threw his passport in Yamuna and said, I'm not going to go back. And there is so much of your life. In fact, Prabhupada told, and this is written by Giriraj Maharaj, he says, to be born in Vrindavan is good. To live in Vrindavan is better. But to die in Vrindavan is the best. But this can only happen if the Dham invites us. Dham is not something that we can just go and stay. We can buy some place and live. That is not, this doesn't work that way. So we definitely need to do a lot of sadhana, And we need to pray that we get this mercy to stay in Dham, to leave our body in Dham, or at least in a consciousness which is Krishna consciousness, and then we leave our body, then definitely it will. So we should practice Krishna consciousness more and more sincerely as we see our near and dear ones leave this world. It brings a reality in front of our lives. It is there, it exists, but we don't realize it very easily unless something happens in our own life, right? So therefore, my sincere request to everyone, please take to this process very, very seriously. Please chant. Please read the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Amala Purana, right? By reading this, all our doubts will be cleared. We get very clear understanding in how to live our life. Very clear understanding is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. So every day it is recommended to read Srimad Bhagavatam. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. It is to be read every day. Even if you read one verse, that is fine. But read. This is my sincere request. Everybody. And reading as a family has its own advantage. You can read individually, there is no doubt. But reading as a family will inculcate a common time that, okay, it's 8 o'clock, we need to read. Husband will remind wife, or wife will remind husband, child will remind, hey, daddy, let's read. It's 8 o'clock. We give up everything and come together as a family and read. In fact, there are other spiritual practices which long ago my family used to practice, in which they at 8:30 every day they will do kind of a prayer in home. 8:30 for 15 minutes. And it was like a practice every day. And all the followers would do the same thing. At 8:30 sharp, wherever they are in their home, they will do the prarthana. Fixed time. Fixed time. So like that, we can also do reading. And apart from what we read in Chaitanya Charitamrita in 7 o'clock, I think reading Srimad Bhagavatam is also recommended. Listening to Srila Prabhupada's lecture. Prabhupada lectures are not very long. It's like 25, 30 minutes. Because that is coming from a pure soul. The Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Parivrajakachari Astottara Shatrashi Srimad Abhay Charanavinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada. So if you hear his Vani, it's very purifying. We can imagine the people who have never heard a name of Krishna, who had no idea what spiritual life means, became devotee and become great sannyasis today. How? Just by associating, hearing with Srila Prabhupada. So if just imagine, if we hear, we are already inclined towards taking to this process. So if we hear Srila Prabhupada's Vani every day, how much advancement, how much purification will happen? So therefore, dear devotees, please set aside some times, apart from chanting, in reading, listening, and contemplating that what have I done in life today. Every day we have to make gradual, little progress. And making sure that whole family does this practice together is very wonderful, because that gives strength to everyone. Sometimes husband is busy, a lot of work, but I say, no, please, let's read today and then you go back to work. Little encouragement will come. Like because each one will support one another. Because in Kali Yuga, it says, Shange Shakti Kalo. In Kali Yuga, the strength is in the unity. So therefore, we all have to be united and practice this Krishna consciousness very well. Okay, so we'll stop here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we'll stop here. See anybody has any question, comment, or any correction. We'll continue for verse number 26 next week. Hare Krishna. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। Gaur Bhaktavinda ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, dear devotees. So now let's do the same prayer and then Mahaprasad. So who's going to take over now?